this one consists of so many concepts. So pay attention. After the break also we need to deal with this chapter, because after 30 minutes we'll be going for a break for 30 minutes. Then we have 2-hour session. So it will take some time to deal with the concepts of this particular chapter. In the entire SM, if you ask me, this is the only chapter where you have a good amount of concepts have been given. And here also, if you understand the reason of the chapter and the learning objective of the content, becomes simple for you to know. So let's begin from that. And not all the concepts, most of the concepts I will revise from this chapter. Some concepts I'll ignore. Because if we go with everything, time won't permit us to go in detail of all the concepts. So some of the core concepts I will try to cover, which means for this chapter we'll cover around 70 to 80% will cover for the entire chapter. Fine. First, learning objective. So this chapter is titled as Dynamics of. Here this chapter is about how a company is dealing with competitors. Dynamics that a company need to adopt to deal with the competitors, and for that what a company have to do, analyze. So I say dynamics of competitive strategy, the chapter dynamics of competitive strategy. This entire chapter, if you carefully observe, 90% of this chapter deals with a term called analysis. This entire chapter is about analysis. Just before I was telling you this, SM is having a process: analysis, formation, implementation and control. The second chapter is about analysis. Now what is analysis? General scenario. Yeah? Good. SM classes, listen. Analysis, when you study something very elaborately, clearly, in depth, then we call it as analysis. This is very much needed for the companies. Let's say if any company wants to start a new business, then do they need to study their existing business first? First you check with the in and out of your existing business. If your existing business itself is not doing well, you can't think of starting a new business. Now when you can come to know that your existing business is going well or wrong? When you do analysis. Now this chapter recommends that a business need to analyze 3 things. Each chapter lo, sorry, in this chapter 3 things are going to be analyzed. The 3 things are going to be like this. First, a business need to analyze about competitors. Much needed. You have to study your competitors. A business need to study about industry, and moreover the major part of this chapter is to study about self. A business need to understand about itself. Now this self analysis is a major part of this chapter. Like portfolio analysis is there. From portfolio analysis, everything that we discuss is a part of self analysis. Like we have PLC, SBU, experience curve, BCG, GE, ADL, SWOT, TWAS. All these concepts will come into self. Now the first topic that we have, competitive landscape, competitor analysis. Then we have industry and competitive analysis, that comes under industry analysis. Like this chapter deals with these 3 types of analysis: competitor, industry and self. Clear? Don't make serious faces, you have been recorded. People should not think that this serious is SM. Oh my god. Because already such content is there in the market. There are 2 nightmare subjects for you in your then even there also, how seriously they are listening, which means there is seriousness in the SM. At least for them you should give a smile. Right. Let's understand with these 3 areas now. First one is, for this we have first concept, competitive landscape. So now you can straight away answer, what is competitive landscape? In-depth investigation of competitors. Very much needed. A business need to study about competitors. Moreover, a business need to study everything about competitors, A to Z. Every nook and corner of the competitor need to be studied. So competitive landscape stands for an in-depth investigation of the competitors. Now there are two types of competitors a business need to study, direct and indirect. The direct competitors are the one who are in the same line of business. Indirect competitors are those who are dealing with the substitutes. Simple concept. So what is competitive landscape key term? In-depth investigation of the competitors. Second term that you have to keep in your mind. It is a business analysis to study direct and indirect competitors. It is very important to study both the competitors, because even indirect competitors will also have influence on the business. Substitutes are very powerful competitors. Where you have come across with this term, substitutes are powerful competitors. Porter's 5 forces model, threat of substitutes. Remember? Yes. Hence, substitutes are very powerful competitors. You need to analyze your substitutes also. Don't always focus on your direct competitor, because indirect competitor also creating a lot of damage to you. In a very simple way to understand. There is a company which is manufacturing aerated beverages, Coke. Now there are so many indirect competitors are there for Coke. All the natural things that have been provided. Coke is an aerated beverage, which means artificial things are added in that. For this guy, substitute is natural. Moreover, this is summer. So many indirect competitors will be fighting with Coke. Don't we have this, indirect competitors? All the natural things, that coconut water, whatever you talk about, the natural sugarcane juice will be there in summer. Now Coke guy will be a little bit worried about indirect competitors. Some of the boys are thinking their own substitutes for Coke. But we are talking about natural. Now if you are thinking that as a natural, we can't do anything. I am talking about glucose water. I don't know what you are thinking of. I am only responsible for what I say, not for. Look, this they remember. Apart from the definitions that I say. Okay. So look at the key terms here for competitive landscape. It's an analysis where business need to study both direct and. You should study everything about your competitor, their vision, mission, core values, what kind of niche market that they are operating, their strengths and weaknesses. About everything you should study your competitor. And the third point, if successfully any company have to run competitive landscape, they need to have an application called, yes, for the successful implementation of competitive landscape, business need to have an application called competitive intelligence. Now when you have a strong competitive intelligence, you gain competitive advantage. So which means competitive landscape is helping to gain. When you know about your competitor, when you can gain advantage. In a battle, when you know about your enemy, you can gain advantage about your enemy. Same concept here. Know about your enemy as a business. When you know about your enemy, it will become easy for you to gain advantage over him. For that, you should study about your enemy first. For a business, it should study about its competitors. This is the meaning of competitive landscape. In-depth investigation of competitors. Two types of competitors need to be studied. Direct and what application is needed? Competitive landscape. Key terms are over. Yeah, sorry. Competitive intelligence. Now you can't do this randomly. Competitive landscape can't run randomly. Follow a process. Study about your competitors in a systematic way. For that, we have some steps to understand competitive landscape. These steps also can be connected to one another. There is a chain, like connect one to other, then you are done with these steps. The first step is identify your competitors. Here, the very first thing that a business have to know is identify who are your competitor. That's why what question has been asked here? Who are the competitors? This is the first question. Know your competitors. Okay, you have identified this many. I have 50 competitors in the market. Once you have identified your competitors, you start understanding them. What is understanding means? Know their products and services. In identifying, know who are they. In understanding, know their products and services. That's about identifying and understanding. After this, know about their strengths. Now we have list of strengths here. Look how strong financially they are. What is giving them? Cost price advantage, which means how they are manufacturing for low cost and selling for low price. Then what they are doing? Next, how strong they are. Now can you tell me what distribution channel do? For a business, what does distribution network do? Very good. They make the product available to customers. The stronger the distribution channel, the vivid the availability of a product. If your competitor is having strong distribution channel than you, isn't it a strength for him? That's the point. And their human resource. Human resource means manpower. Your competitor is having skilled manpower than you, which means he is having strength. So first I have identified the competitors, then understood the competitors, then understood their. It is not enough to know only strengths. What we have to know? In weaknesses, what we study? Where are they? Now look, you got some information. Who is the competitor? What are the products, strengths and weaknesses? These 4 points helping the company to gain some information. It is not enough to have the information unless you don't know how to use the information. That's why the last step says, put all the information together. Use it. That's why the term says, what the business do with the information. What are you doing with the business? Is it helping you to make any changes? And with this information, is the company is trying to exploit the a competitor is having some weaknesses. What you should do? Convert those weaknesses as yours. As a strength, let's say, or use it as an opportunity. So that you have to do. You have come to know your competitor is having some weaknesses. Now you try to exploit that weakness so that you can convert that as your opportunity or strength, whatever it is. That's it. Competitive landscape is over. So meaning of competitive landscape, steps. Steps also remember the chain of activities. Identifying, understanding, strengths, weaknesses, putting all information together. Competitive landscape means the one term that struck in your mind, in-depth investigation of competitors. Study everything about your competitors, their vision, mission, policy, product, services, strengths, weaknesses. Study everything. And to do this, you need a mechanism in your company. What is that mechanism? Competitive intelligence. Done with the first objective of this chapter, which talks about the competitors analysis. After this, the next concept we have industry and competitive analysis. Here, two things have been discussed. Industry need to be studied, competitors need to be studied. Don't get confused for this. Many students will get confusion for industry and competitive analysis. In order to do industry and competitive analysis, we have some factors. And there are 7 factors are there for industry and competitive analysis. Many students don't understand all these factors are for industry and competitive analysis. Rather, they study them independently and they will land in confusion. To do industry and competitive analysis, there are 7 factors. A business need to understand those 7 factors. I will take you through those 7 factors. Here we have the 7 factors. These are the 7 factors which will help the business to do industry and competitive analysis. And the 7 factors are, first, a business need to understand industry traits. Then they should study about the competitor, nature and strength. Next, they should understand about triggers of change. And they have to identify the strongest and weakest competitors. Then they have to study the moves of rivals. Then they should study key success factors. After that, financial attractiveness of the industry. 7 factors. When a business studies these 7 factors, ultimately they can know about their competitor, industry and competitor. If a business have to study their industry and competitors, they should study these 7 factors. In these 7 factors, I will throw light on this one and this one. These two are much needed to be studied. triggers are nothing but anything that promotes for change. So I'll give a simple briefing of this one also. Hardly 3 concepts we'll discuss in the 7 factors. So triggers of change, identifying strongest and weakest and key success factors. These 3 are needed. Okay, let's understand the first one, triggers of change. This can be very simply understood. In your life, do change takes place? When we live our life, we also tend to change. Whenever any change happens in your life, will there be any motivational factor behind it? General scenario. All of a sudden you have decided to build a strong body. It is not that you have decided on your own. There will be something motivational factor behind that. Sir, with this body I could not able to gain competitive advantage in the market. I have decided I should have a core competency of at least 6-pack. Something motivated you to do so or not? This is called, when we undergo certain change, there will be a motivational factor behind. That motivational factor is called as triggers. A trigger stands for something that has motivated you to undergo a change. Same thing for a business. Do business change? Whenever business change, will there be anything that push the business for change? If I have to give a simple term, trigger stands for factors that are responsible for the occurrence of change. General term, any factor due to which a change has happened in the business stands for trigger. Factors that are responsible for occurrence of change, they are called as triggers. Now, will all the industries will have same kind of triggers? Probably no. Look, the key term says, what is trigger stands for? These are the dominant forces that have biggest influence on the changes that takes place in the industry. Now, when I say triggers are the factors that are responsible for the change, all the industries will not have same kind of triggers, isn't it? There are some triggers which will applicable for all the industries. There are some triggers which are different for different industries. In the present condition, if I say new technological developments, this trigger commonly applicable for all the industries because every business need technology. If I say changes in customer tastes and preferences, this thing will also applicable for all the industries. Rather, if I say after COVID a big issue has come, immunity in people. Now, immunity in people is nowhere related to IT industry. Immunity in people is nowhere related to education industry, insurance and banking. Immunity in people will show impact on healthcare industry, let's say pharma. To some extent insurance we can say. Because immunity will lead to insurance. If you are getting more diseases, you will prefer to take a health insurance. Now, look at these 2 triggers that I have said. Technology and taste, customer taste and preferences are the triggers which are commonly applicable for all the industries. But whereas immunity changes in the people will not applicable for all the industries, only for few industries. The conclusion is there are some triggers which are commonly applicable for, there are some triggers which are industry specific. Look at the term. Some are specific to a particular industry, while others will show impact simultaneously to all the industries. Now, what a company have to do? Identify the driving forces. Either it can be industry specific or commonly applicable. Understand how many driving forces are in the market because of which I have to undergo a certain change. After identifying the driving forces, understand the impact. First one is identifying, then understanding the impact. Because when you have identified a driving force, definitely this driving force will have impact or not on your business. So understand the driving force and understand the impact also. That's about steps involved. So clear with the triggers? In a common term, trigger stands for factors that are responsible for occurrence of change. Will all the industries have same factors? No. Some factors are industry specific, some factors are applicable for all the industries. So this is about triggers of change. When we go with the next factor that we have, identify the companies that are strongest and weakest in its position. That is the next factor that we have, next factor for industry and competitive analysis, identifying strongest and weakest competitors. Now, can you tell me, will this come into competitor analysis or industry analysis? Competitor analysis, because what are you studying here? Your strongest and weakest competitors, which means this particular thing is directly related to competitor analysis. Now, there is a problem in this factor. For most of the companies, competitors will be very huge in number, isn't it? Let's say you may have competitors in hundreds. Is it possible for you to study all the competitors in detail? When you have hundreds and hundreds of competitors out there in the market, you can't study about each and every competitor, because huge number of products are there in the market. Let's say particularly if you talk about electronics. Last night I randomly got this thought. I was searching for truly wireless earphones, TWS. I was doing some research because I need one, so I was doing some research. So then I went to e-commerce platform. After doing some research, I went to e-commerce platform. I just wanted to check if I search for TWS, how many products will come. And to my amaze, list of products are coming. Popularly, we might be knowing some brands, but there are hundreds of brands that we don't know in the e-commerce. Let's say if any company wants to manufacture TWS, they have competitors in hundreds. Now they can't study about each and every competitor. It will take a lot of time for them. Let's say if they have to run competitive landscape for all the competitors, identifying, understanding strengths, weaknesses, very time taking process. But if they have to get success, they need to study about the competitors. So there is a problem in that factor. The factor says identify strongest and weakest, but practically not possible to study about all the competitors. For this, there is a technique that is available. What is the technique? Yes, the concept is strategic group mapping. Strategic group mapping. So many of the cases, many of the students have no idea why this technique is. Actually, strategic group mapping is a technique. Why this technique? To identify strongest and weakest competitors. What is the purpose of understanding this technique? Because directly you can't study all the competitors. Practically it is not possible. But if you have to get success, it's important for you to understand the strongest and weakest. For that, a technique need to be used called as strategic group mapping. And this technique also can be very easily identified. The 4 steps in strategic group mapping technique, there are only 4 steps are there. Step 1, I'll write the key terms. While doing strategic group mapping, step 1 is to identify the characteristics. Identify the characteristics depending upon which you create a group mapping. Characteristics. Let's say, same example that I have said, a company is manufacturing TWS earbuds. Now it want to study about its competitor. Now first identify the characteristics depending upon which you will create a strategic group. Before that, before we understand about strategic group mapping, we should understand what is a strategic group. Yeah, I forgot about it. Strategic group we need to know. What is strategic group? Yes, strategic group stands for group of companies which follow similar strategies and have similar market positions. To call it as a strategic group should have 2 requirements. First one, all the group members should follow similar strategies, or else they should have similar market positions. Similar market position. So all the competitors who are following same strategies and all the competitors who are having similar market position, if you group them as a group, then that group is called as, let's say if you have 100 competitors, in 100 competitors 25 competitors are following same strategies, then these 25 competitors are one group. Other 25 competitors are having same market share, because not only strategies will create a group, their market position also will create a group. Now 25 competitors are having same market share, then this 25 is also one group. Now other 25 competitors have same sales, one strategy group. Other 25 competitors have a same distribution channel, one group. Which means you have created 4 strategy groups now of 100 competitors. Clear the point? So what is the strategy group stands for? Group of companies which follow same strategies and have similar market positions. Now can you tell me under what conditions a industry have only one strategy group? When all the competitors follow similar strategies. Practically it is not possible, but conceptually a line will come there. When all the companies follow similar strategy, industry have only one strategy group. Simultaneously, if all the companies follow different strategies, industry will have different strategy groups. Clear? Understood the meaning of strategy group? Now first know the strategy group, then start doing strategy group mapping. In strategy group mapping, first thing that has to be done is identify the characteristics depending upon which you want to create strategic groups. If a TWS guy, electronics, first he identify characteristics, price of a product, features of a product. Let's say in TWS we'll be having a concept called ANC concept, active noise cancellation. If you know the technology and technical aspects, when you buy a TWS, sir, we don't know, we just buy and use. There is something called ANC, active noise cancellation, which means when you're making any call, outside noise will not be reaching to the receiver. This device will cut the noise. We call it as ANC technology, active noise cancellation. Now, if I am dividing all my competitors, I will choose characteristics. For which price he is selling the product, what are the features he is offering, ANC is there or not, touch sensitivity is there or not, how many mics have been used in that, whether sensor is there or not, is it water resistant or not. Now for the competitors, can I divide all these characteristics? So first identify the characteristics depending on which you want to create strategic groups. Once you identify the characteristics, second step, plot them on a 2-variable map. Plot them on 2-variable map. 2-variable map. So for strategic group mapping, you have to draw a 2-variable map. Same TWS example if I take, on one axis I have taken price, on the other axis, let's say I have taken as features, okay, ANC, active noise cancellation. First I have identified characteristics. Just before I have tell you list of characteristics like price, ANC, water resistant, drivers, mic, all these things. In that I have chosen ANC, active noise cancellation. Now I have plot all the characteristics on 2-variable map. Price, how many of them are having high premium price? Some of them are having moderate price and some of them are offering for low price. In every industry, do we have these 3 categories in price? Premium products will be there, mid-range product and low range entry product. Then ANC, there is no active cancellation, no active noise cancellation, which means when you buy the TWS earbud, active noise cancellation is not there. Some companies will provide only 10 decibels of active noise cancellation. 10 decibels voice it can cut. Some are having very high active noise cancellation, which means it will cut the entire noise. Clear with the point? Like that I have divided into these parameters. This is the second step, plot them on 2-variable map. After the third step, divide strategic groups. Divide strategic groups. I have to draw strategic groups on this map. Now I have 100 competitors in the market for me. I am manufacturing a small TWS earbud. 100 competitors. Now I will map all these competitors in this map. Let's say here I have 20 competitors are there. Now can I consider these 20 competitors as a strategy group? Because they are following high price and active Nash cancellation is also there. Can we say they are following same strategy? Then can we call this 20 competitors as a group? Like this, I have kept all the competitors here. I am drawing all the competitors in this area. Randomly I am writing the numbers. Okay. Like this. Create strategy groups. All these are strategy groups. And the last step in the strategy group mapping is to draw circles. Draw circles for each and every group. Let's say, and moreover, when you draw the circle, the point says draw circles for each and every group, making the size of the circle proportionate to the sales. Which means I have drawn a very bigger circle for this, let's say, very big circle. And I have drawn a very small circle here. Size of the circle is differing. Right? Now, if I have drawn a very big circle here, what does this mean? They have high sales. High sales. I have drawn a very small circle here. They have very low sales. Now, I don't need to study all the competitors. I can already know who is strongest and weakest here. By looking at this map very clearly, I say there are 20 players who are stronger than me. There are 7 players, those who are weaker than me. Have we studied about every competitor here? No. We have divided a group and the group have been kept on map and the circles have been drawn for a group. Easily identify strongest and weakest. Done. This concept is called as strategic group mapping. Let us quickly sum up once again. Strategic group mapping topic is for the purpose of identifying. This will come into as a factor of competitor analysis. Now, to create strategic group mapping, first we need to understand what is a strategic. So, what is the meaning of strategy group? Group of firms which follow similar strategies and have similar market positions. And then to draw strategic group mapping, 4 steps are there. Step 1 is to. Step 2 is to. Step 3 create the. And finally draw. Size of the circle should proportionate to the. That's about strategic group mapping. As you can see here, the same 4 steps will begin identifying the characteristics, plot them on a 2 variable map, creating into strategy groups, and finally drawing circles. Done. This technique will help to identify the strongest and weakest competitors in the market. After this, we have key success factors as a one topic we'll discuss. With that, industry and competitive analysis can be concluded. Then we can go with the portfolio analysis. There we have good amount of concepts are there for portfolio analysis. So we'll go for a break now. We'll be meeting at 11 o'clock again. And we have 2-hour session. Prepare your mind. If you're hungry, grab a snack. Because in the next session, we have some important topics to cover. So we have to cover this entire second chapter. And then we have to cover with even our third chapter also. That will be the target for morning session. Then rest of the things we can cover in the afternoon is going to be a long day with multiple breaks. We have 3 sessions with multiple breaks. So clear? Any quick doubts until now? Are you getting the things? You have to be accurate. There is no other choice. You have to be as fast as I am delivering the content to you. Quickly revise and recollect the things. I am glad you are making a note of points. Keep on doing that. And keep on highlighting the key terms also. This will definitely end the session with a productivity that there should be a thought in your mind when we are done with the session. Yes, things have been revised. Key factors for competitive success. Rather, we can consider this term as key success factors also. So 2 terms you have to keep in your mind. KSFs, the short form is KSF, stands for key success factors. Or else you can understand this term as key factors for competitive success. Either of the terms convey the same concept. If you carefully observe key success factors, there the answer lies. There are some factors for a business which helps them to get success. We can understand with this some simple examples. Let's say if you take a bank. For a bank, process gives them the success. Rest of the things might not help them to get success. Process. How they are processing loan, how they are taking deposits, how they are opening any kind of account. Process is a key success factor for a bank. Let's say for insurance company. For insurance, what gives them success is the kind of premium that they're charging and how the process of entire insurance goes on. Rest of the things are secondary. For banking and insurance, there are certain factors which gives them success. Like this, every industry have some key success factors. Let's say if you take a restaurant. If a restaurant guy have to get success, taste, price as a secondary, ambience is primary. Because when you go to restaurant, obviously you prefer to sit in a good ambience. Now for a restaurant guy, what is key success factor? Ambience followed by taste and service. Now these are called as key success factors. Now for triggers, I have said a point. There are some triggers which are commonly applicable for all the industries, some triggers industry specific. But key success factors will differ from industry to industry. All the industries cannot have same key success factors. Let's say if any company have key success factors so effectively that they are completely different from the key success factors of the competitor, then can they gain competitive advantage? Now we can say key success factors help the company to gain competitive advantage. One more thing, a particular business cannot have same kind of key success factors every time. Key success factors will change from time to time, from industry to industry. In clothing industry, 20-30 years back, bell bottom is a key success factor, but now it is not the key success factor. It have changed. Now narrow fit and slim fit has come. This point proves that key success factor will change from time to time, and they will change from industry to industry also. Now key success factors are any factor that will help the company to get success. You can see here, these are the things that more affects the industry members' ability to prosper. Prosper is nothing but to develop and grow. If any company in that particular industry, if they have to grow, they need to have key success factors. Now key success factors will help the company to gain competitive advantage. Now key success factors will vary from industry to industry and even from time to time within the same industry. Let's say for your company there are 5 key success factors. Now you don't need to focus on these 5 key success factors. It is enough to focus on 1 or 2. That will help you to outperform your competitors. Now tell me, will these key success factors help you to understand about industry success? So that is why these things will be considered something into industry analysis, key success factors of the industry, because these key success factors will differ from industry to industry. Overall, we have 7 factors. In this, these are the factors that you have to understand carefully. Triggers of change, identifying the strongest and weakest competitors and key success factors. Along with this, we have financial attractiveness industry and traits. Trait stands for characteristics of the industry. And rest of the 2 points are about competitors. Moves of rivals. We have one concept called understanding the moves of rivals is also there. Yes. That is with respect to competitors. So these are 7 factors that will help you to study industry or competitive analysis. So self-analysis is completed. So we have understood about self-analysis and then we have understood about industry analysis. Now the major part of this chapter is to understand, competitor analysis and industry analysis is completed. Now the major part is to deal with, from here 5 to 6 concepts that we discuss will come under self-analysis. Like to begin with portfolio analysis, and then understanding about SBU, PLC, experience curve, and then BCG, GE, ADL, SWOT and TOS. All these concepts will come into self-analysis. That's why the topic is considered as portfolio analysis. I think before portfolio analysis, we have competitive advantage and core competencies. These are simple terms to understand. What is competitive advantage? Gaining advantage over the competitor, which means you are having a good position in the market when compared with your competitors. Can you tell me what is one of the objective of SM? First objective. Which means if your strategies are good, will you gain competitive advantage? Now look at this term. It is the result of a successful strategy, which means if your strategies are good, you will gain competitive advantage. Everything is interconnected. There we have studied as an objective of SM. Here we are studying that good strategic management result is to gain competitive advantage. And then competitive advantage is nothing but you are trying to maintain a favorable market position when compared with whom? Because competitive advantage is gained over. Along with this, in competitive advantage, there is a one more point you have to study. There are two certain ways of gaining competitive advantage. Okay, if any company have to gain competitive advantage, there are two ways. One, either to be a low cost provider in the industry or try to be unique in the industry. Which means as a company, you should offer the product for low price. Or else you have to be unique in the industry. These two strategies will help the gain competitive advantage. Look at this point. Competitive advantage may be in the form of low cost leadership, or you can be unique in the industry. The conclusion is competitive advantage can be gained in two ways. Low cost, being at low cost, and the second one is to be unique, done with competitive advantage. After that, to gain competitive advantage, a company need to develop core competencies. Now, what are core competencies? Unique strengths of a company that cannot be shared by others. Here this point says, a unique quality that your product has developed that is not available with any of the other products. Now that unique quality is called as core competencies. That's why we say core competencies will help the company to gain competitive advantage. So many companies have attained so much of success by considering this small concept of gaining core competencies. In electronics companies like Apple, the reason why Apple stood still the highest valued company in the market, they take this concept of core competencies very seriously. Every time when they launch a product, they always add something new into it that is not offered by anyone else. So the success or the secret of their success is always they want to add core competencies. As you can see, the meaning, the very first line says unique strengths of an organization which may not be shared by. Now core competencies will help the company to gain. That's why it says they act as a source of competitive advantage. Not needed. Every time core competencies have to be in a tangible format. Sometimes core competencies can be in the form of intangible also. Like your company is having a strong goodwill like no other company have in the market. Competitive core competency, goodwill. Level of customer satisfaction. Loyal customers. Customer loyalty will also act as a core competency. No other competitor in the market have loyal customer like you have. This will help you to gain advantage over the competitor. So customer loyalty, goodwill, all these are intangible things. So core competencies need not to be every time tangible. They say that tangible like invisible, intangible, invisible, intellectual assets and cultural capabilities can also act as core competencies for a business. Understood with core competencies and competitive advantages? Done. So after this, and simple thing, if you have to consider it as a core competency, it should meet with 4 characteristics. Let's say you are calling something as a core competency, then it should have 4 characteristics. First one, the core competency should be, yes, it have to be valuable. It should create value for your firm. At the same time, it should create value for your customers also. Then only you can call it as a core competency, something which is creating value for your business. Next one, it has to be, that is what we are saying, unique strength of a company. If you are offering something which has already been offered by your competitor, it is no more a core competency. If something have to be recognized as a core competency, the first test that it should pass is it has to be rare. It has to be completely different from others that no other competitor have offered in the market. And you know what? A core competency will act as a core competency until it is not copied by others. Yes or no? That's why the next characteristics is costly too. Don't create your core competency in a so easy way that competitor can easily Imitate. Once the competitor has imitated it, it is no more a core comp. It's quite common. No matter whatever the core competency that you bring, your competitor will copy it. But your target is here, make sure to create a core competency that is a bit costly to imitate. Then your core competency will long for a long time. It will last for a long time. Then you can gain some good profits meanwhile. That's why it has to be costly to imitate. And finally, it should help you to substitutable capabilities, which means that should help you to gain competitive advantage for your firm, and it should help you to create capabilities also. 4-point requirement. If you have to call it as a core competency, 4 qualities has to be there. It has to be valuable. It has to be costly to. It should help you to create capabilities. That's about core competencies and competitive advantages. Then we have a small concept called value chain analysis. So clearly, let's understand this. This is also an important area to study, value chain analysis. Created by? Yeah. Who created value chain analysis? Don't say I don't. Michael Porter's value chain analysis. Not straight away related to self-analysis, but important concept to study, where a business can understand about different activities. So let's simplify this concept. Value chain analysis, VCA we call it as, value chain analysis, stated by Michael Porter. Michael Porter. So the reason why Michael Porter created this concept, meaning, 2 points you have to remember in meaning. What do we need to start a business? What do we need to start a business? Can you give a single term for that? Yeah, that's true. Resources are needed to start a business. What are resources? 4 M's. What are they? Men, machine, material, money. Actually 5 M's we call them as. Men, machine, material, money and methods. But actually 4 M's. As resources you need to start a business. Men, machine, material, money. In order to start a business, you have procured all the resources and kept in a place. Now can we call it as a business? Simply procurement of resources will not call it as a business unless you are capable enough to arrange these resources in a systematic way. That is what Michael Porter have said in value chain analysis. Organizations are much more than random collection of resources. These resources are of no use unless they don't create value for your business. This is meaning of value chain analysis. The reason why Michael Porter created this value chain analysis is to prove a point. Organizations, it is not enough to have the resources. Resources will not give you any value unless you won't arrange them in a systematic way. Then only these resources will provide value for your business. For that reason, in value chain analysis, Michael Porter have explained the activities that happen in and around of an organization. In meaning, you have to remember 2 points. 1, organizations are much more than random collection of resources. There is no use of resources unless they are not arranged in a systematic way. In value chain analysis, Michael Porter have explained about the activities that happen in and around of an organization. These 2 points you have to understand as a meaning. Now he says, activities have been discussed in and around. All the activities of a business, Michael Porter have created into 2 types. Yes, some are called as primary activities and support activities. Now if you can understand primary and support activities, the concept is over. Primary activities, one are connected to other. All the primary activities are again connected activities. Let me write all the primary activities, then I'll explain. The primary activities we have is yes, inbound logistics, and then we have operations, yes, outbound logistics, then we have marketing and sales, after that services. All these are primary activities. All these activities are connected to one another. Inbound logistics stands for collecting, storing and distributing the inputs. Because in order to do business, you need inputs. Collect the inputs, store the inputs and distribute the inputs. What is inbound logistics stands for? Collecting, storing and distributing the inputs. Once these inputs have come into the company, these inputs need to be converted into outputs. It stands for operations. Operations is considered as conversion of inputs into output. Now a finished product is ready. You can't keep this finished product in your godown to create value for your company. This product need to be sent out into the market. That is what we call it as outbound logistics. Inbound and outbound logistics, key term is same. Collecting, storing and distributing the inputs. Outbound logistics, collecting, storing and distributing the output, finished product. Now the finished product went into the market. It is available in a retail shop. How a customer will know that such kind of product is there in the shop? So marketing stands for creating awareness. You have created awareness. Consumer came to shop and purchased the product. Sale have happened. After sales, now you don't relax. What you have to do? Provide services. What services? Post-sales services. Post-sale services are nothing but installation, repairs, training, guarantee, warranty. All these things will come into post-sales services. These are primary activities. All these activities are connected or not? Bring the inputs, convert them into output, send this output into the market, do marketing, then sale will happen. After that, provide services. That's why services are called as post-sales services. These are primary activities. Clear with all the things? If all these primary activities have to happen successfully, we need some support activities. And the support activities are, first we have procurement. Then we have tech development, technological development. Then we need to have HRM, human resource management, and then firm infrastructure. If all these primary activities have to happen successfully, there need to be some support activities. What is the first primary activity? What is inbound logistics means? Collecting, storing and distributing the. Is it okay to have any kind of inputs or best inputs? You need quality raw material, updated machinery, skilled manpower, good amount of capital structure. If you have to get the best, then search for the best. And the searching for the best is called as collecting all the resources for input activities is called as procurement. A general scenario of procurement is searching for the best. What are you procuring here? Inputs. Men, machine, material, money you are procuring. That's about procurement. And to do all these primary activities, do you need technology? Tech development, technological know-how is important for all the primary activities. Without technology, you can't do all these things. Not only technology, what do you need for primary activities? HRM, manpower, recruiting skilled employees, training them, compensation. All these things will come into HRM. Observe this. Without any of these support activities, you can't do primary activities. The last one that we have is here infrastructure does not mean physical infrastructure. You think for all these primary activities, does planning is needed? Budgeting is needed? Controlling is needed? All those things will come into infrastructure. Planning, information, controlling, budgeting. Because to do successfully all these primary activities, planning is needed. Information is needed. Controlling is needed. Budget also needed. All those things will come into form infrastructure. These are primary and support. Now you think, if we remove any of these activities in primary and support, if we remove any one activity, can we create value for our business? Definitely not. You may think, sir, let us remove services. You can't survive in the long term. Once you sell the product, you have to provide services. Without HRM, can you create value? Not possible. Without operations, all these activities are so carefully designed. Every activity has its own value. If all these activities happens effectively, then only a value for business can be created. That's why it is called as value chain analysis. Chain, all these are connected to one another. A business need to analyze all these activities and then it will create a value. Understood with the concept? Yes. So if you want a quick key terms to be understood, as you can see here, what the Michael Porter says, organizations are much more than random collection of resources. These are no value if they cannot create value to the final customer. Then the activities, inbound logistics. What is the key term here? Receiving, storing and distributing the, what is operation stands for? Done. Outbound logistics stands for collect, store and distribute the product to the. Marketing and sales is nothing but creating. Services includes installation, repair, training and space. All these things will come into post sales services. One more small input. Don't try to draw every diagrammatical representation that is there in SM. Only few you can draw. Like BCG, GE, like experience curve, PLC, this you can draw. Rest of the diagrams don't keep on drawing everything. Once I have seen in one of the paper, someone have drawn this thing, network structure. You know, organization structures, network structure will be there. Cobweb network will be given. And that fellow have seriously drawn the cobweb in the exam. Spider's web. In the material, spider web has been given. Just to symbolically represent that organization structure represents cobweb network. He draw that and expecting good marks by drawing a spider. Now in BCG, don't draw dogs and cows there. You don't need to draw any diagrams. Enough to write the names. Outline you have to draw. Name you have to write enough. This thing not needed to draw for VLC. Don't draw anything. And then support activities. Procurement is all about acquiring various resources for inputs. Tech development is about technology, know-how. HR, recruiting, managing, training and developing, rewarding the people. Infrastructure involves planning, financing, quality control and information management. Before we move to portfolio analysis, these three concepts will come. Core competencies, competitive advantage and value chain analysis. Then we have portfolio analysis. What is a portfolio for a company? I am simplifying this concept. If any business is operating into multiple industries, each and every diversified unit of a company is called as portfolio. Does Reliance is operating into multiple industries? Hence it has multiple portfolios. Does Tatas are operating into multiple industries? So as ITC. Yes, all these companies are operating in multiple industries. Each and every diversified industry is called as portfolio. Like Tata's have, Reliance have that, ITC is having, L&T is having, all these big companies are operating into multiple industries. Now for these companies, the guy who's in at the top level, he will not study about every product, rather he study the complete portfolio. Tata Group of Companies chairman sitting at the top level, he will not study every product, rather he study the complete portfolio. Such kind of concept is called as portfolio analysis. Now you might be thinking, sir, only the companies which are into multiple industries will have portfolios, rest of the companies will not have any portfolios. I will give you the clarity for that in a while. As of now, portfolio stands for diversified. If any company is into multiple industries, each and every diversified industry is called as portfolio. Instead of calling it as a portfolio, we have a technical name for that. Stands for strategic business unit. Even though the concept is portfolio analysis, a portfolio can be called as SBU. Meaning remains the same. Now what is a strategic business unit? A diversified unit of a company. When Tata Group of Companies in multiple industries, can they have a same plan for all the industries? Can they have a same goal for all the industries? Can they have a same manager for all the industries? Hence we call it as SBU. Strategic business unit is a diversified unit of a company which need to be planned separately from other businesses. If you check the scenario of Tata Group of Companies, they are into multiple industries. They cannot have same plan for all the industries. They can't have same goal for all the industries, and they will be having separate manager for all the industries. Instead of calling it as a portfolio, you better remember technical term as strategic business unit. Look at the meaning. SBU is a unit of a company. Now this unit has a separate vision and objectives, and this unit need to be planned separately from other company businesses. Now let me address your doubt. I said Tata, Reliance, ITC, all these big companies will have SBUs. Does it mean that only the company which is into multiple industries have SBU? No. I'll give you 3 points here. SBU means a separate unit of a company. With an example. SBU can be a separate unit of a company. When I say Tata group of companies is into multiple industries, they are operating in so many industries. Like they are into FMCG, they are into automobile, they are into IT, they are into lifestyle, they are into jewelry, I can go on, they are into electronics, so many they are into. Hence each and every diversified unit is called as a SBU. Done? This is point 1. Every unit, diversified unit. Let's say, is Coke is into diversified units? You know a company called Coca-Cola. Is Coke is into diversified industries? Yes or no? Now don't tell me, sir, what is Coke? You know a company called Coca-Cola. Is Coca-Cola is into diversified industries? No, they are only into one industry, aerated beverages, soft drinks. But Coke have SBUs. How? If you take Coke, they have a product line. Coke is having Coca-Cola. No, Pepsi is a competitor of Coke. Thumbs Up they have. Sprite they have. Maaza they have. Limca they have. Recently they have acquired Bindus, Zero Water. They have acquired it. Now Coke is not into diversified industries, but they have a product line. Now a product line in a division is also called as a SBU. Got the point? If any company is into diversified industries, every diversified unit is an industry SBU. Product line in a division is an SBU. Let's say for a company there is not even a product line. They are only into one product. Even a single product is also called as. Are you clear with the 3 things? Look at the term here. An SBU can be a company division, product line within a division, or even a single product or brand. Understood with the meaning? Now, to call it as an SBU, it should meet with 3 characteristics. As we have understood the meaning, characteristics are simple to understand. Can we call a single business as an SBU? Someone is saying like this, how come? Just now I said, even a single business is also SBU. Collection of related business is also SBU. That's why the first character, it can be a single business or collection of. Only requirement is everything need to be done. For all the SBUs, there will be separate competitors. For Tata group of companies, for automobile, separate competitor. IT competitors, lifestyle competitors. Yes or no? SBU is the one which has separate competitors. You may get a doubt here, sir. You said SBU will have a separate competitor. Now can you tell me, for Coke do we have separate competitors? Yes. On the other hand, we have Pepsi. In Pepsi they have simultaneous competitors. Here they have Coke and Thumbs Up. For these 2 things they have Pepsi. For Sprite they have 7-Up. Like this. For Maaza they have Slice. For Limca they have. For Orange, in one hand they have Mirinda and Fanta. One is having Mirinda, other one is having Fanta. I'm not sure of which company was that. Now can you observe here, even a product line is also having competitors or not? That is where every SBU is the one who has a own set of competitors. Now all the SBUs cannot be led by a single one manager. That's why every SBU will have a separate manager. That's why SBU has a separate manager. He will be taking care of planning and profit. Now to call it as an SBU, three characteristics have to be there. What is the first one? It has to be a, or it can be a, but what is the requirement? Second one, every SBU will have separate, and every SBU will have a separate. We are done with strategic business unit. In portfolio analysis, to study the portfolios, first SBUs need to be identified. That's why the concept of SBU need to be studied. All of you are clear with this concept? To know about like portfolio, when you study, portfolio in other words can be called as a SBU. Meaning and characteristics. After this, I will explain you a concept called PLC. PLC is a very simple yet interesting concept. Stands for product life cycle. This is also portfolio analysis. Because just now I have said even a single product can also be called as SBU. Now a company need to study that particular product. The chapter title, the concept title says product life cycle. Life cycle. As we humans from birth to death passes through different stages, in the same way product also from birth to death passes through different stages. That is why it is called as product life cycle. Like we have human life cycle. Don't we have? Our life cycle starts from infantry, childhood, teenage, adulthood, middle age, old age. Age limits are also there for every stage. Yes or no? Teenage starts and ends 13 to 19. From there, engage will come, adulthood, and then middle age and old age. Senior citizen, super senior citizen, after that God's will. After super senior citizen. Which means, as we humans have birth and death, in the same way product is also having birth and death in the market. In this journey, the product will pass us through different stages. Let us simplify this concept. The stages of PLC can be understood with a two variable map. On one axis, sales have been taken. On the other axis, time have been taken. On time being depending on the sales. So I think, yes. Here we have time. On this axis, we need to take sales. On time being depending upon the sales, product will passes through 4 different stages in its entire lifespan. 4 stages. These are called as product life cycle stages. They are, yes, introduction, growth, maturity, decline. These are called as stages in PLC. Introduction, growth, maturity, and now we need to know the position of a product in the 4 stages. Very simply we can understand. First stage is intro, and moreover sales curve. This is how generally sales curve can be represented in PLC. For PLC you can draw a simple diagram and explain the concept. Okay, because it's a simple and easy diagram to draw. If PLC concept come, you draw this outline and write the points. About each and every stage you have to remember certain things. Let's say first introduction stage. In introduction stage we need to know 4 things about the product. First one, sales. In introduction stage, how the sales of a product. Check with the diagram. When compared with the other stages, how the sales are here? Sales are low. In an introduction stage, the sales for a product are low. Why? Lack of consumer awareness. Just now the product has been launched. Many of the people aren't aware of this product. So introduction stage, sales are low due to lack of consumer awareness. Next, price. Yes, prices will be high. Just now the product is launched, new product in the market. Usually when product takes time in the market, it becomes outdated. When it become outdated, prices will come down. When the product is new in the market, prices will be high. Got it? So in the introduction stage, the price will be high. And then competition. Yes, competition, nil. negligible, because just now the product is launched, yet competitors haven't copied it. In time being, what will happen? Competitors will copy, then automatically your competition will increase. But in the introduction stage, competition is almost negligible. Then markets are limited. Just now you have launched your product. You may not geographically expand your product to different markets. Only in limited markets you will sell your product. In time being, if your product will get successful, you will expand to the other markets. Done with introduction. Only 4 things. In introduction, prices are, sales are, why sales are low? Lack of consumer awareness. Competition is almost negligible. Markets are limited. When you are born, it is not that you will stay in infantry stage forever. The life will push you to childhood. When you are launched a product, it is not that your product always remains in introduction. In time being, from introduction, your product goes to growth stage. This time will differ from industry to industry. We can't define same time for all the industries. Let's say, if you talk about mobile markets, every new year a new product is launched, which means that the products have become outdating very quickly. That's how. So in growth, things will become opposite. Sales will increase. Sales will increase. Why? Consumer have got awareness, showing interest to purchase the product. So sales have increased. The prices will decrease, not low, decrease. Because competitor might have launched other product in introduction, your product have become a bit outdated. That's why the prices will decrease. Competition will starts. Competition starts. Competitors also trying to launch the same kind of products, and markets will expand. Now you are trying to take the product into other markets. That's it. Introduction and growth is simple to understand. Things will become opposite. From growth, in time being, you will reach to maturity. Now only 2 things you have to understand in maturity. One is intense competition. When the product reaches to the maturity stage, the product deals with intense competition, due to which profit margins will come down. Okay, remember this point 1. What happens in maturity? Intense competition, profit margin will come down. Then what company have to do? When the product reaches to maturity stage, company will follow stability strategy. What is stability strategy? We discussed in the 4th chapter. As of now, you just remember, when the product reaches to maturity stage, company follow stability strategy. Done. 2 things in maturity. First one, intense competition, profit margins will come down. Company prefers to follow stability strategy. After some time, the product will reaches to, you check with the diagram, the sales curve. What is happening with the sales curve in decline? Here also 2 points. Point 1, there will be a sharp fall of sales when your product goes to decline stage. Reason is, your product have become outdated, or else a new product has been introduced in the market. It's quite a long time that your product have launched in the market and it has become outdated. So many new products have come. In decline, point 1, sharp fall of sales due to introduction of new products in the market. Here company prefers to follow, let's say, retrenchment and diversification strategies. In maturity, stability strategy. In decline, retrenchment and diversification strategies. Understood with PLC? Great. Experience curve I am skipping. It doesn't talk a very big concept. Experience curve only talk about as the production volume increases, per unit cost will come down. Simple concept. Experience curve talks about as the volume of production increases, per unit cost will come down. Yeah. Now let's start with portfolio analysis method. Just remember this for the sake of concepts. There are 3 portfolio analysis methods are there. As per our subject, there are 3 methods which will help the companies to analyze the portfolio. What is portfolio? SBU, diversified unit of a company. Now Tata group of companies are into multiple SBUs. The chairman who is sitting in the top level, does he need to analyze all the portfolios? Now to analyze, he needs some tools. There are 3 methods to do portfolio analysis. They are BCG, GE, ADL. These three are called as portfolio analysis methods. Let us understand them in a very simple and easy way that you don't need to put lot of efforts to remember it. Okay, in that we will start with the first one. The concept is called as BCG, growth share matrix. BCG growth share matrix. The reason why it is called as BCG growth share matrix, because this concept has been developed by Boston Consulting Group. Okay. Now the BCG matrix have been created depending upon two parameters. The entire BCG has developed depending upon two things. One is market share. Market share. The other one is, very good, market growth rate. Market growth rate. These are the two parameters depending on which BCG is created, market share and market growth rate. You have to know the meaning of these two terms. At present, the sale of your product will define your market share. The future of your product will define growth rate. As of now, your product is having highest sales, which means you are enjoying high market share. There will be some products which will have a good future, and there are some products which will not have a good future. They are called as market growth rate. Tata Group of companies, there are some businesses which will be enjoying high market share as of now, and the same business may not have a future. Chances might be there. There are some businesses which may become outdated, may not have future. Now that is defined by market growth rate. There are some products which will be having wonderful sales at present. That defines market share. Now the company which wants to study the portfolios by using BCG, they need to consider market share and market growth rate. So carefully understand. The concept of BCG has been developed depending upon market share and market growth rate. Depending upon these two parameters, all the portfolios of a company has been divided into four metaphors. Now understanding the four metaphors, concept is over. If you understand the four metaphors, you are done with the concept. If you know how to answer these four metaphors, concept is over. Now what are the two parameters for BCG? On one axis, market share have to be taken. On the other axis, market growth rate have to be taken. Now the market share can be high or low, and the market growth rate can be high or low. Now listen to this point carefully. Depending upon market share and market growth rate, in BCG, all the portfolios of a company have been divided under four metaphors. What are the four metaphors? You know this. Stars, question marks, cash cows, dogs. Fine, sir, we know these four metaphors. But the problem is how to answer these four metaphors in the exam. Sir, we remember the four metaphors, but what points we have to write in the metaphor is a question. Now, while you are answering this question, don't draw anything. Draw this outline. Stars, dogs, don't draw. Write the introduction developed by BCG in so and so year. Two parameters have been taken, and then you draw this outline. After this outline, keep a heading called stars. Then you will write the points about stars. A small input here. In your material, just for your easy understanding, a matrix has created here. Let's say a box is created, here stars and then explanation. You don't need to do the same in the exam. This is for your easy understanding. Rather what you do, draw this outline. Don't draw these diagrams. Draw this outline, write star, question marks, cash cows and dogs. Under that keep a heading called stars. And then points, enough. You don't need to draw this outline and explain in the same way. This is for your easy understanding. In the exam, keeping the heading and points, enough. Now, how to find out the answer for this four metaphors? Simple technique. About these 4 metaphors, you have to remember 2 things. Then easily you can write answer for the 4 metaphors. What are the 2 things? First, you should know the position of the metaphor. Position. In which position it is in. Now tell me, BCG is what method? BCG is what method? Portfolio analysis method. Why do you do analysis? To take decision. Generally, the purpose of analysis is, when you do analysis, you will know the position. After knowing the position, you take a decision. When you analyze, you will understand what is the position of the product in the market. Once you understand the position of product in the market, you will take a decision. Analysis will help to know the position. Depending on the position, decision is taken. When you take the help of BCG matrix, you will come to know the position of a business. So hence, first you know the position. After the position, you have to know strategic decision. That's it. If you can remember these 2 techniques, by understanding these 2 techniques, you can answer these 4 metaphors. Let us see with this technique how to answer this. First metaphor is about stars. What is the first thing that we have to know? By looking at the diagram, can you tell me what is the position of stars? You are done with 1 point. You will keep stars as heading. Point 1. These are the SBUs with high market share and high growth rate. Look, diagram itself will give you half of the answer. Position understood? If any SBU is in stars, then second point, what? Strategic decision have to be taken. You observe the position of stars. Market share is high, which means they have high sales. Market growth rate is high, which means they have good future. Will you close these businesses? Common sense. What you do? You will invest more money. Will you expand this business? Because they have good growth rate. Decision is over. They need lot of investment. They represent best opportunity for expansion. Stars are over. Simplify the content. You don't need to write the 10 points. Valid 3 points enough. And I always say this. Don't expect miracles in EAS and SM. Accept reality in EAS and SM. If you can put your efforts to get good marks, it is enough. You don't need to say, I will get 80 marks in EAS and SM. Look, I will create history. Not possible. Let us accept the fact. Now, about stars, you don't need to write 10 points there. Write valid 3 points. You are safe side. I always say this. Even though I deal with this SM for such a long time, I can't create a false creation in your mind. Just listen to the classes, you will get good marks. I always say this. Even in the sessions also I have said this. Accept the reality. Try to be in a safe side in this subject rather than don't be in a danger side. For that, at least this minimum things that you keep in your mind, you will be on a safe side. Write 3 points about stars. Point 1, these are the SBUs with high market share and high growth rate. Point 2, they represent best opportunity for growth and expansion. Point 3, company invest lot of money in stars. Over. Even if you write these points, there is nothing wrong. Stars is over. We will follow the same principle for rest of the 3. Question marks. About question mark, first we have to know the, what is the position? Low market share, which means as of now that SBU does not have sales, but it has a future. For such kind of businesses, will the company invest money? Yes, because of future. As of now, the product might not have sales, but it has good future. Such SBUs need to be called as question marks. What is the strategic decision for question mark? They also require investment. Why they require investment? By considering as the market growth rate is high, company prefer to take investment in the question marks. Along with that, you can add one more point. Question marks have some other names. Sometimes question marks can be called as wildcats or problem children. Enough. Problem children, because it creates a lot of problem for the business. Wildcat, like we can't sure how they respond. That's why those names have given. So now 4 points for question mark. Point 1, position. What is the position? These are the SBUs with low market share and high growth rate. Point 2, you can write, sometimes they are called as wildcats or problem children. Point 3, lot of investment is needed as the growth rate is high. That will be enough. Point 4 you can write. This is nothing but if you are not being serious about question marks, they become cash traps. Which means their sales are already low. If you are not trying to capture the market, your growth rate will also come down. Then it will ultimately become into losses. That's why if the question marks are left unattended, they become cash traps. 4 points. Done. Position, decision, other name. If they are left unattended, they become cash traps. Same principle for cash cows. Position. Market share is high. Market growth rate is low. These are the SBUs with high market share, low growth rate. Which means as of now, good sales are there for the product, but there is no. That's why cash cows are called as financial base for the company, because they generate lot of cash. Position is clear. Will you invest money in cash cows? Why? Because growth rate is low. They does not require any investment. I will tell you a technical point here. When a company do portfolio analysis, the one reason that they do portfolio analysis is for the purpose of channelization of resources. Do you remember this point? Channelization of resources. This is what channelization of resources. Cash cows are giving lot of cash. Take all the cash from cash cows and invest that in question marks and stars, because they have growth. This is called channelization of resources. Taking all the money from cash rich businesses and diversifying this money into the businesses which has growth. You can add that point also if you want. Cash cows is over. Position, decision, that's it. Dogs, what is the position? Once again, for cash cows, you remember the points. Position is over and they are financial base for the company and they does not require any investment. These 3 points are enough. Dogs, position. Low market share. Will you invest money in dogs? Can you tell me what strategic decision you will take for dogs? Divestment or liquidation, because they does not have future and they don't even have sales. If your company have multiple portfolios, one of the portfolio is into dogs. Now what you do with the dogs, you will see whether it can survive or not. If it doesn't survive, you will close it down. Divestment or liquidation. That's what BCG is all about. So look how wonderfully you can answer this question in the exam. First, introduction about BCG. Like as you can see here, introduction is given. Who developed it and what are the parameters. After the introduction, draw this outline. Under the outline, keep the first heading as stars. So you will write first position. These are the SBUs with high market share and high growth rate. And they have a wonderful opportunity for expansion and they require a lot of investment. Like that, rest of the points also you can write. Let's say question marks you will keep. Write down point 1. They are the SBUs with low market share and high growth rate. Point 2, sometimes they are called as problem children or wildcats. They require investment as the growth rate is high. If the question marks are left unattended, they become, even though technically plenty of points might be there, you get the concept from there and you prepare in that context, then concept will become easy. But rather what you do, so many points are there, I have to remember each and every point and I have to project in the way. No, this will end you in confusion and fear that there is a lot to study in the subject, there is a lot to write in the subject. No need to do that. And from the diagram itself, you can answer some points. I see forms have to take the actions to convert question marks into stars. Yes, you can convert a question mark into star. How? If you try to increase your market share. Automatically after a couple of years, the stars will become cash cows because growth rate will slow down. You can write even that point also. That is what the point says here. Question marks into stars and then cash cows automatically it will become. BCG is over. Understood with the things of BCG? There are 4 strategies in BCG. Build strategy you use for stars. Hold you use for question marks. Harvesting. You know what is harvesting stands for? Plucking, taking. In cash cows, what you have to do? Take all the cash. All the short-term cash you take, because long-term the business will not survive. That's why harvest. And for dogs, liquidating is the best solution that is left for dogs. That's about BCG. Simultaneously to BCG, we have another concept called G. It stands for General Electric, G model, General Electric model. This matrix has been created by G, General Electric's company, with the help of another consulting firm called McKinsey and Co. With the help of McKinsey and Co, G have created this matrix. This is also in a very, it is more easier than BCG. And moreover, when you know BCG, half of the concept is adopted from BCG, not a new concept. But to understand it technically, one thing that you have to know, some other names for G model. Sometimes G model is called as stop light strategy model, and it is called as G 9 cell matrix, and it can be called as business planning matrix. Business planning matrix. Just for the sake, I'm adding a small point here. BCG is called as 2x2 matrix. Just for the information sake, nowhere it has been said. It is 2x2 matrix. As you can see, the diagram is 2x2. Okay. It is 3x3. That's true. G is 3x3. So other names of G is stoplight strategy model, 9 cell matrix, and business planning. The reason why G is called as stoplight strategy model, because the concept of G has been adopted from traffic control lights. This concept is adopted from traffic control lights. That's why it is called as stoplight strategy model. Why it is adopted from traffic control lights? What are the three colors that you see at a traffic control signal? First we will see green, and we will see yellow, and then we will have red. So understand the concept now. G has been adopted from the concept of G is inspired from traffic control lights. In BCG, all the SBUs of a company is categorized under 4 metaphors. In the same way, in GE, all the SBUs of a company is categorized under 3 zones. What are the 3 zones? Green zone, yellow zone, red zone. You know the basic meaning of these colors. Which one is danger? Which one is safe? Which one is about to enter into danger zone? Now you will do the same for your SBUs. Any SBU which is in a safe zone, like you have multiple SBUs, all the SBUs which are at advantageous position, all the SBUs which are at advantageous position, keep the SBUs into green zone. Now can you compare this zone with anything in BCG? Yes, absolutely, stars, because high market share, high growth rate. Here the business is at advantageous position. Hence, the SBU which is into green zone is in advantageous position. What strategic choices you can make? Yes, invest, expand, and grow. Invest, expand, and grow. You can invest these SBUs, you can expand these SBUs, and there will opportunity for growth also exists. That comes into green zone. Only one point is enough. All the SBUs which are into advantageous position will come into green zone. To reap the benefits, right strategic decision is to invest, expand, and grow. Done. After that we have yellow, which needs caution. Which needs caution. Cautious. In traffic signal also, well, yellow blinks, you have to be cautious. Slow down, red is coming. That's why the yellow blinks in a traffic control light. For SBUs also, any SBU which needs caution, if you are not being careful, it may go into red zone. Compare this with something in BCG. Question marks, because if question marks are left unattended, they may become. Same thing for yellow zone also here. Any SBU which needs cautious strategic choices, keep that SBU in which zone? Yellow zone. And be very careful with the SBUs in yellow zone. If you don't take proper strategies, it may go into red zone. Now can you tell me what SBU will come into red zone? Any business which will eventually lead to losses. Any SBU which is giving you continuous losses, keep that into. Now compare this with BCG. Great. What strategic choices that you take for red zone? Yes. Divestment, liquidation. Divestment or liquidation. Retrenchment also will come here. 3 zones. But the point is, in BCG, I have drawn a matrix and I said, star's market share is high, market growth rate is high. That's why it is a star. But in GE, when you will say it is in green, market position I haven't said. For that market position, we have to draw a matrix. And the matrix will help you to identify when it is green, yellow and red. What are the 2 parameters of BCG? Market share and market growth rate. Here also same parameters we will take. So there we have taken market share. It stands for, yes, business strength. Business strength. There market growth rate. Here market attractiveness. Market attractiveness. Same parameters. There market share. Here business strength. There market growth rate. Here market attractiveness. But there we have taken only 2 parameters, high and low. But here it is into 3. Let's say business strength. It can be, it can be strong, average or weak. Market attractiveness also can be divided into 3. Market attractiveness can be high, medium and low. Now you can check why it is called as 9 cell matrix. Because all the SBUs are here dropped into 9 cells. That is why this is called as 3 by 3 matrix. 3 by 3 matrix. Got the point? Now the only thing is that 3 zones into 9 cells. There 4 metaphors into 4 cells. Here 3 zones into 9 cells. You don't need to logically explain why that zone have come into that cell. It is enough to draw this diagram. That's it. Here these 3 will come into green zone. Vertical and horizontal axis. If the business strength is strong and average and the market attractiveness is high and medium, then that SBU will come into green zone. These 3 will come into yellow zone and the remaining will come into red zone. Got the logic here? Their market share is high and low. Here business strength is either strong or average, or market attractiveness is either high or medium. Business strength for yellow zone, it can be weak or average, or else market attractiveness can be low or medium. Hence it is in the middle. It will be applicable for both. Are you getting the context here? Same thing for red. You don't need to logically explain why it is in that particular column. Rather draw this diagram, write down the zones and explain. Enough. That's how. G is considered as the same content has been given for you as a concept also. If you check with the G introduction, you will write, and then you write about these 3 zones first: green zone, yellow zone and red zone. Green zone, what will come into it? Any business which is in advantageous position. What is the strategy? Expand, invest and grow. Yellow zone what? Needs caution. Red zone which leads to losses. So first write the introduction, draw this outline. You don't need to draw like this. Just writing business strength and market attractiveness, strong, average and weak, high, medium, low. Don't draw any colors here. You just write here green zone, and then you will write here yellow zone and then red zone. Writing is enough. After you draw that, keep the heading green, yellow, red and write. After writing that, if you can remember, then write these approaches. Let's say for business strength, it can be measured by the factors. These are the factors to consider business strength. These are the factors to consider attractiveness. Not all the factors. If you can write 3 or 4 factors, enough. Anyways, the question is for 5 marks. You don't need to write the entire things. And our goal is to be at a safe side for the subject, that we don't need to project everything. Basic points if you write, purpose is fulfilled. Done. G is over. So BCG and G completed. Simultaneously, once you understand the BCG, G is easy to know. After this, we have ADL matrix. This stands for other, D, little. We have ADL matrix. ADL matrix has been developed by a consulting firm called Arthur D. Little. This is a consulting firm. I will just show you the outline for the purpose of understanding what the outline is conveying. You don't, actually you have to draw this in the exam. If you can remember, then only draw. If not, write down the points. That is the best thing that you can do. What are the two parameters of BCG? What are the two parameters of GE? Like that, there are two parameters for ADL. They are on one axis, stages of industry maturity. Stages of industry maturity. Just now we have discussed about PLC. PLC. 4 stages are there. What are they? Introduction, growth, maturity and decline. There, they are the stages of product life cycle. The same stages we discuss here, but stages of, which means same 4 stages will come here. Stands for embryonic, nothing but startup. Then we have growth and then maturity, aging. Aging is nothing but decline. Same 4 stages. There the stages are with respect to product life cycle. Here the stages are with respect to, which means industry is in beginning, industry is in growth, industry is in maturity, industry is in aging. Simple example. In India, EV cars industry is in which stage? Embryonic. Just now slowly cars are manufactured by the companies. EV industry. Got the context now? In India, EV industry is in embryonic. Like that, industry stages have been drawn on one stage, on one axis. On the other axis, competitive position. Competitive position. Now here we have 5 competitive positions are there. 5 competitive positions. They are, first is dominant. Yeah. Dominant, strong, favorable, tenable, weak. Okay. This is how ADL matrix looks like. On one axis, stages of industry maturity. On the other axis, competitive positions. Actually, this is called as 4x5 matrix. Because 4 industry maturity stages, 5 competitive positions. Once this matrix has been created, companies will start creating strategies in this. The purpose of this matrix is what strategic choices have to be followed in these positions. Let's say your company is in dominant position, industry has just now started. What strategy you will follow here? Getting the context? I am telling you how the matrix is created. Your company is in weak position and industry is already aging. What strategy will follow here? Like this, the entire matrix can be drawn. Are you clear with the purpose of the matrix? Yes. Now, industry maturity stages you already know. PLC, same concept. When industry is in embryonic, sales will be low, prices will be high, competition will be nil, markets will be limited. Same thing. When industry is in maturity, high competition, profits will come down, stability need to be followed. When industry is in aging, companies will leave the market because the industry does not have any sales. Now what we have to learn in this now? Competitive positions. For every position, 3 points I will tell you. Carefully listen. When we can say the company is in that position, 3 points. If any company is in dominant position, 3 things have to be kept in mind there. First one, it is a rarest position. Second thing, the company is almost enjoying monopoly. Third thing, the technology is very strong. Then you call the company as dominant. If your company's competitive position has to be dominant, then 3 requirements have to be met for your company. First, yours is a rarest position because you are almost enjoying monopoly and you have strong technology. If these three requirements are met, you can call your position as dominant. Like in internet search engine, Google is enjoying this dominant. Almost monopoly. Even though competitors are there, 99% of the people use search engine of Google. Because rarest position. Almost enjoying monopoly because Google have strong technology. It's called as dominant. Strong, 3 points. By the nature of the company, it is very strong. By virtue, these companies are really strong. And they have strong established market position. By nature, they are very strong, less threatened by the competitors. By nature, they are very strong. They don't have any threat from the competitors. Hence, they enjoy strategic freedom. 3 points. By nature, they are strong, less threatened by the competitor, strategic freedom. Look, when you are strong in the market, you don't need to worry about the strategies of your competitor. You can prepare a strategy which will show impact on the competitor. Generally, what happens? Our strategies will be depend on the strategy of the competitor because we are very much scared about the strategies of the competitor. But in strong, you prepare the strategy and this strategy will show influence to the competitor. Then your position is strong. 3 points are clear? Next one, favorable. This position happens only when industry gets fragmented. Point here also 3 points. Favorable position comes when industry gets fragmented. Fragmenting is nothing but dividing into parts. Splitted. Industry got splitted. Point 2. Hence industry got fragmented. Point 2. No clear competitor for your business. Because industry got fragmented, no competitor for you. Point 3. Hence there is no competitor. You are enjoying strategic freedom. In strong also company enjoys strategic freedom because the position is strong. In favorable, company enjoys strategic freedom because industry got fragmented. So 3 points in favorable. This position occurs when industry got fragmented, no competitor. Hence you are the leader and enjoying strategic freedom. Next, tenable. When you can say your company is in tenable, again 3 points. Your performance is satisfactory. You are not exceptionally doing good business in the market. Your performance is satisfactory. You are justifying your stay in the market. You are in the market, you are getting good profits. You are justifying your stay in the market. But the problem is highly vulnerable with increased competition. Which means when competition increases, you are the one who will get affected. If you are in that position, your position is called as tenable. Once again, 3 points. Performance is satisfactory, justifying the stay in the market, highly vulnerable when competition increases. In these 3 scenarios, your position is tenable. Weak, only 1 point. Performance is unsatisfactory, even though chance of growth exists. Performance is unsatisfactory, even though opportunity for growth exists. Which means this company's performance is so bad, even though market give them opportunity to grow. If your company is in that position, then you have to consider as weak. After understanding, are you clear with the 5 competitive positions? After these 5 positions have been studied, then matrix will be drawn. Look, depending upon the matrix, strategies are created. Your company is in dominant and industry has just now started. Now you have 3 options. You can grow fast, you can build barriers, and you can act offensively. Why we are saying grow fast? Because industry has just now started. Are you understood the purpose of this matrix now? One more thing. Your company is already in a weak position. Industry is aging. You can't grow now. Your position is unsatisfactory. Industry is already. Then what is the option left? Understood the purpose of the matrix? Then, if you can remember, try to remember 1 or 2 strategies. You can't go with the entire matrix. Probably not possible for you to remember all the strategies. 1 or 2 strategies. Try to memorize. And then write this positions. Simple to write. Rare position. Attributable to monopoly. Strong leadership. Like this, you can highlight the key terms that I have said, 3 points, and you can write the ADL matrix. Introduction, drawing that matrix, 5 positions, enough. You don't need to write the industry maturity stages. It is enough to explain about the 5 positions. 3 portfolio analysis methods have completed. BCG, G and ADL. After this, we have SWOT and TOS, and then I will talk about ANSOF. Once we are done with the SWOT and TOS, then ANSOF can be discussed. SWOT, very simple concept, not overcomplicating it. In SWOT, you just have to know the definitions of strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats. Let me highlight. What is the strength stands for? Inherent capability of the firm. This help to gain what? Advantage over the competitors. The more strengths companies have, the more advantage it can gain. Weakness, opposite to it. Inherent, limitation, constraint, drawback. If strength create competitive advantage, strategic advantage, weakness create strategic disadvantage. If any company is having more strengths, it creates advantage. More weaknesses, disadvantage. Strengths and weaknesses are internal. You know this point. That's why it says inherent capability, inherent limitation. Whereas opportunities and threats are external. It comes from external factors. Now, what is opportunity? It is a favorable condition. Understand a point here. An opportunity is a favorable condition provided by your company should be in a position to grab that opportunity. If you don't utilize that opportunity, ultimately that opportunity will become as a threat because that opportunity is utilized by, and you have to understand this contextually. That's what opportunity is a favorable. If you utilize every opportunity that environment has given to you, it will help to strengthen the position. So opportunity is a favorable condition helping to strengthen the position. Opposite to this is threat. Threat is an, and it causes risk or damage. In a 4 key terms, SWOT you can answer. If you have to answer meaning of SWOT, 4 key terms are have to keep in your mind. Once again, strength, inherent, creates, weakness is an, create, opportunities helps to, threat is an, creates, done. Meaning of SWOT. And then you can easily check the significance of SWOT. It will help to create a logical framework because depending upon the SWOT, you create strategic alternatives and you select a strategic alternative and you will implement it. And then comparative account. What are you comparing? Internal strengths and weaknesses have been compared with external opportunities and threats. SWOT is helping you to create comparisons. And SWOT is helping you to guide the, SWOT is helping the strategist. In what? Strategy. Who is the strategist? The one who prepares. So SWOT helping in 3 cases. 1, logical framework can be created by which strategic alternatives are created. One alternative is selected. And then what has been compared here? Internal strengths and weaknesses are compared with external opportunities and threats. And SWOT is helping whom? Strategist. For what purpose? There is a problem in SWOT. SWOT analysis is helping the company to only know the capabilities and limitations. But SWOT analysis nowhere explain what to do. Are you getting the point here? SWOT is just letting know the position, but SWOT is not telling what to do with that. That is why we call SWOT as a planning tool. SWOT as a planning tool. There is a drawback in SWOT. SWOT is only helping to identify the position. What is strengths, what is weakness, what is opportunity. But SWOT is never explaining what to do with that. If you look at the meaning, you can understand that it says inherent capability, creates advantage. Now what should I do with the strength? Is it talking there? No. Weakness is limitation, disadvantage. What should I do with this limitation, weakness? Nothing has been mentioned. That's why SWOT is called as limitation is it will not create any action. Now solving this problem, Haynes Varich have created another matrix called TOS matrix. That's why TOS matrix is called as action tool. Action tool. SWOT analysis, TOS matrix. Name itself is different. Don't call SWOT as matrix. SWOT is analysis, but TOS is matrix. Understanding the deficiencies of SWOT, hence Weyrich have created a matrix called TOS. In TOS matrix, he created some actions. What are the actions? Only for TOS you can draw this diagram actually and you can explain. Like I'll just write in a short form, internal strengths and internal weaknesses, and then external opportunities, external threats. Now, four options have been given by TOS. In the first matrix, two things are compared, strengths and opportunities. The position is called as SO. Now he says that for SO, he says maxi stands for maximize the strengths and maximize the opportunities. The moment I say maximize and maximize, is it related to action? You are increasing. Action has been performed, but no such thing has been mentioned for addressing the deficiencies of SWOT. TOS has been created. Like that, other three alternatives we can discuss. Weaknesses and opportunities. Mini maxi stands for minimizing the weaknesses and maximizing the opportunities. ST. Yes, maxi, mini. Maximize the strengths and minimize the threats. Last one is WT. What has to be done with this? Minimize the threats and minimize the weaknesses. The moment we say maximizing and minimizing, that deals with that's why TOS matrix is an action tool. Now among SWOT and TOS, can you tell me whose scope is broader? That's it. For TOS, do the same thing, provide the explanation, and then you can draw this one or you can draw this simple matrix also. Nothing wrong in that. Any of the thing you can draw. After that you explain. And one last conclusion. In these four things, SO is the ideal position that every company should be in. Because for every company there should be more strengths and more opportunities. And every time companies should try to avoid WT. It is not good to have more weaknesses and threats. Understood? Done. That's about TOS. And then probably global environment we will not discuss, not needed. I will go with the Ansof's matrix. Okay. Now, until now we are done with analysis. Actually, starting from portfolio analysis until this concept, everything is related to self-analysis. SBU, PLC, experience curve. These three will come into self-analysis. Then portfolio analysis methods, three methods, BCG, GE, ADL. SWOT and TOS will also come into portfolio analysis. But the concept that we are going to discuss now is not analysis, but somehow they have given in this chapter. That's why we are discussing. Actually, the concept that I am going to tell you now will come into planning. This concept is planning. It would have been great if this concept has been given in the third chapter, but they have given here. We'll understand. The name of the concept is Ansof's product market growth share matrix. This concept itself explain you the content. This concept is developed by Igor H. Ansoff. Okay, developed by Igor H. Ansoff. Now what Ansoff says is that in order to get a growth for the company, because every company wants to get growth, in this matrix Ansoff have provided four strategies. That's why these four strategies should be called as growth strategies. Okay, growth strategies. And to prepare these four growth strategies, Ansoff have taken two issues, product and market. That's why it is called as Ansoff's product market growth share matrix. In this matrix, Ansoff have stated four strategies. If any company follow these four strategies, then the company will get growth. And to follow the four strategies, the issues that they have to keep in mind is product and market. That's why the concept is called as Ansof's product market growth share matrix. Let us understand the 4 strategies. We will try to follow the same kind of principle that I have stated for BCG to understand these 4 strategies. What are the 2 parameters? Product and market here. Now he says like this. On one axis, existing, on this axis product, existing product and new product, existing product and new product. This axis is about product. Then here, yes, existing market and new market, right? Remember BCG, 4 metaphors. In Ansoff, 4 strategies. Okay, I will write the 4 strategies and then I will tell you how to answer the 4 strategies in the exam. The 4 strategies are, yes, market penetration. This one is product, product development. And here we have market development, and we have diversification. Sir, we know the names of these 4 strategies, but the difficulty is what points to write. Heading we are keeping, sir, but inside points we are getting difficulty. I will give you 2 tips here. Remember the BCG tips? Position, strategic decision. Here also 2 tips. First, know the position of that strategy. Position. You have to understand these 4 are strategies. Okay, 4 are strategies. First, you know the position of a strategy. Hence, it is a strategy. You should know how to implement it. How to implement. These 2 points will help you to find the answer for 4 strategies. First, know the position, how to implement. In BCG, position, it is analysis. That's why decision. In this, hence it is a planning kind of matrix. 4 strategies are there, how to implement. Now concept is simple. What is the first strategy? First strategy is about this, what you have to know. By looking at the diagram, tell me what is the position. Now you know what you will do. If this question has been asked, you will write introduction. You will draw this diagram. Under that you will keep a heading called market penetration. First you write the position. Market penetration, it is a growth strategy where the firm introduces existing product into existing market. Diagram is already saying that. Position is clear. What is the next thing that you have to know? How to implement. Which means already companies existed and the product is also existed. Now what is existing product has been introduced in the existing market. This means how to implement. This can be implemented by means of increasing the sales of existing product. Your product is already there in the market. What you should do? Increase the sales. How to increase the sales? Asking the customer to use the product repetitively. If any toothpaste company asking its customers to brush the teeth twice a day. What does this means? Company wants to increase the sales. It is not that company is taking care of your teeth. Repetitively, if you use your product, sales will increase. Market penetration. So asking the customer to repetitively use the product, asking the customer to increase the quantity of a product. Don't use one toothpaste for 3 years. Use more toothpaste on the brush. Quantity. When quantity increased, product sales will increase. Like this is what market penetration. Point 1 is introducing existing product into existing. It's a growth strategy. How to implement? Increasing the sales of existing product. How it can be done? By means of increasing the quantity, increasing the repetitiveness, finding new applications for the product. Now you have to connect to the learning objective. What are these 4 strategies? These 4 strategies will help the company to achieve. Now tell me, will market penetration help the company to achieve growth? Because sales are increasing. Done. Second one, product development. What is the position? New product has been introduced in the Position is understood. How to develop? Two ways. Either launch a new product or make the modifications in the existing product. Done. Change the old product or launch a new product. You know, for market penetration, lot of money need to be invested in marketing. Because you should ask your customer to use it repetitively. Spend more money on marketing. But for product development, you have to spend money on R&D, technology. Because either to develop a new product or to modify the product, you need a lot of R&D. But will product development helps to achieve growth? Yes, because you are making modifications in the product and you are launching the new product. That's about product development. Making modifications or launching a new product. What is the third strategy? Position, market development. What is the position? Existing product have been taken to new markets. One simple thing, how to implement in this new market means new geographical area. In market development, new market means new geographical area, which means an existing product has been taken to new geographical area. Previously, your product is available only in India. Now, this product you are selling in America or any other market. This is called as market development. Finding new geographical markets for existing product. That's what market development stands for. You can add one more point here. When you are taking the product into new geographical markets, certain things need to be changed. Pricing policy need to be new. Distribution channel need to be new. Packing need to be changed. Enough. 3 points. First, write the position. It's a growth strategy where existing product have been taken into new market. Point 2, how to implement finding new geographical markets for existing product. Point 3, you will write, it requires new pricing policy, new distribution channel, new packing. Done. Understood? That is the last one. What is the position? New product into? In market development, new market means new geographical area. In diversification, new market means new industry. As a company, you are taking new product into new industry. Recently, Apple have said that they are coming up with electric cars. Diversification. Product is new, industry is also new. Apple is an electronics company, but now they are entering into automobile. Now this is called diversification. Clear with the concept? Done with hands off. Systematically, that's how you are going to explain as a concept also. Write the introduction, draw this matrix, don't draw Mr. Hands off. Then you can, and I have said that don't draw this kind of thing. For BCG also I have said. After drawing this outline, keep a heading called market penetration. Point 1, you will write its position. And then point 2, what happens there? Making more sales to existing customers, increasing market share, frequency, quantity, like that. Heading and points. Heading and points. That will give a good representation. We are done with the second chapter. Even though the concepts are plenty, keep the divisions in your mind. First is competitive analysis. About competitive landscape. Over. Industry and competitive analysis, 7 factors. Done. Self-analysis. Self-analysis divide into 2 parts. One part is about portfolio analysis. Here, SBU, PLC, experience curve. Then portfolio analysis methods, BCG, GE, ADL. ANSOF is a separate concept. Globalization is a separate concept. So globalization is nothing but integration of world into a huge market, it says. Actually, this is not related to analysis, globalization. It's a macro component environment, which you have studied in your intermediate, and then you have studied in your foundation, and then again it came in the intermediate also. The concept of globalization. We are done with the second chapter, dynamics of competitive strategy.